Hi, buddy. Welcome back. Today we're doing another coaching session for League of Legends. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be looking at, I believe, a silver Yasuo game. So if you're just coming off of the previous episode, which I think was episode 28, or whichever, it was the Tom Kinch episode. Sadie. The cat's claws were caught there. That episode was a little silly. Okay. And the reason is I forgot reading my correspondence with Eric that he wanted a Yasuo game, and so I thought he was the support Tom Kinch in that game. So go back and watch it. It's interesting. It's entertaining, especially at the very end. Once I realized sort of what's going on. So if you watch nothing else in that video, watch the very end. It's pretty funny, like right before the post game analysis when I figure it out. But yes, Eric did want a Yasuo commentary, not a Tom Kinch commentary. So there is good information about Tom Kinch in that video, though. Okay, so I do talk a lot in the pregame about it, and I do give some useful commentary, especially for kind of the early laning for the random Tom Kinch player in that game that's not Eric. Okay, but we're going to be watching the same game over again. So if you know what happened in that game, this is going to be the same thing, but it's going to be from the perspective of Yasuo. So I'm going to be talking about Yasuo, how he plays, his items, his rotations, and things like that. So same game, different champion. I did talk about Yasuo a little bit in that last game, which is pretty ironic and funny because I didn't realize that was Eric, and I was like, hey, you know, I think this Yasuo could carry. I think we need to pay attention here. You know, try to play around the Yasuo. Stuff like that, and that ended up being the person who submitted, so that was pretty funny. But anyways, let's get to it here. Okay, so I want to preface by saying that I have never played a Yasuo game, and I have not studied him in depth that much. I did some for this video just to try to figure out some good runes and builds, but I do not know a lot about the very intricacies and specifics of Yasuo, like specific trading patterns in lane and different combos. I know a little bit about how it works, but I don't know a lot. And Eric knows this, okay? He knows that I'm not a Yasuo main. He watches the channel. He knows I do support. But he just wants my commentary on rotations, macro, decision-making, and stuff like that a little bit more. So if you're expecting someone who's like a Grandmaster Yasuo player to be giving commentary here, that's not what this is, all right? So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on macro, overall decision-making, rotations, things like that, much more so than very intricate, breakdown of positioning and light trading in lane. I will talk about that some, but just throwing that out there, because I know sometimes people get confused. They're like, oh, if you're coaching a video, you must be a grandmaster of the champion that you're coaching. No, it's not always the case, okay? I think it's fine as long as the person that you're coaching understands that. Like, they understand what you can and can't do, or what you are and are not knowledgeable about. Okay, and Eric knows this. So, let's go ahead and get in here. So, I think that most people are still going press the attack on Yasuo. There are some people who go fleet footwork. I would imagine in tough lanes, tough matchups, you might want to go fleet for the sustain. But press the attack is obviously going to give you a lot better scaling later into the game. So, most people do go press the attack. But there are a healthy amount of fleet footworks mixed in there as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. The secondaries are all over the place. There's anything from domination to resolve to inspiration in there. Nobody runs sorcery. And I think that domination gives you access to the healing one, Ravenous Hunter, and the penetration one. I forgot what it's called. Like, whenever you dash, you get an extra 10 lethality, which is really good because you can dash all the time. So that's like your super offensive one. If you really think you're going to just completely stomp your lane and dominate them and just kill them a ton, then that's a good rune to go. As you can see, that didn't happen in these games right here for some of the people who tried that. I think that is the one I would recommend the least, would be domination right now. I think you already do a pretty good amount of damage as Yasuo. The problem is surviving most of the time. So I wouldn't recommend that one. Now, the other one, Resolve, is going to give you more survivability in lane. I like this one a lot more. This one will give you, usually they'll probably go Second Wind and Iron Skin. Yep. So that's pretty good if you think you're going to be taking a lot of harass. Second Wind gives you a ton of extra sustain. So that's probably one of the better options there. So if it's a really, really hard lane, you can go for that. I think for neutral lanes, and what I would recommend most of the time, though, at least until next patch, this is 8.2, 8.3, it's going to change a little bit, but I would recommend going Stopwatch and Magical Footwear. Those two are just fantastic bargains. Stopwatch, really good on Yasuo. You have pretty short cooldowns. If you use your Stopwatch, it's going to give those cooldowns time to come up and potentially turn a fight. So I think that Stopwatch is very good on him. Also, you can turn that into Guardian Angel later. So it's not only that it's a pretty good one-time use item, but you can also switch that over to a pretty good item on Yasuo and get the discount on it in sort of the late game. So it ends up being something that is not only good relatively early, but also scales and gives you value later on. And then Magical Footwear is probably one of the best runes out there. It's just like a 400-something gold value rune, depending on how you value the flat movement speed, which is really, really good. So that's the best bargain for your buck. So if you think you're going to completely stomp somebody, you can go Domination as your secondary. If you think you're going to get completely stomped, you could go Resolve, and you could even combine that with Fleet Footwork. So you could go Fleet Footwork into, you know, Second Wind and Iron Skin, and that would be like the safest laning phase. Especially if you take the lifesteal one out of the precision tree. Or the one that I recommend is probably, and I don't know, like I said, it's all over the place. Looks like a rainbow here in terms of the color. But I think until they nerf Stopwatch and Footwear, that's what I would probably recommend. After they nerf it, I'd probably use the Resolve one. But that's just me. I think Second Wind and Iron Skin just gives you so much better laning. And I think that's one of... It depends on the matchup, but that can historically be sort of a tough area for Yasuo. Like, he does have some tough matchups in lane, especially ranged champions like Azir is pretty common here that can get around his wind wall. Nar's probably a nightmare. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. Okay, in terms of build order, it's pretty standard. You get Phantom Dancer really early on. Gives you a lot of extra crit, movement, survivability for dueling power. Phantom Dancer is just a fantastic bargain. It's defense and offense. Either Ninja Tabi or Mercury Treads. You never want to go Berserkers. It's just, you don't need it. I mean, Yasuo is primarily a caster. He does obviously auto attack, but most of his damage comes from just proccing his Q a lot, which does scale off of attack speed, but I think that, you know, either Ninja Tabi or Mercury Treads are probably your best bet, depending on usually what you're laning against. If you need armor or magic resist early, if they have a ton of CC, you might need to go for Mercury Treads, even if you're laning against an AD champion. That sucks when that happens, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Infinity Edge is also really nice to bring in here. So, you know, Infinity plus Phantom gives you that 100% crit with bigger crits. So this is ideally what you would get. If you're getting completely blown out of the water, like, you can get a defensive item, I think, next. Like, you could, in theory, get, like, Frozen Mallet. And then after that, so this is pretty standard. Like, Infinity, Phantom, Tier 2 boots, defensive boots, and Frozen Mallet. Then after that, it kind of veers off. Some people go GA, some people go Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster is kind of the greedier one. It does give you some sustain, but you're going to be very squishy. Frozen Mallet does help you out with that a little bit. I mean, you can see it right here. Some people go Blazer and King also. I don't like Blazer and King just because, once again, you're not really an auto attack based champion. Like, you do auto, but a lot of your damage is from abilities, and Blade doesn't contribute much to that. Like, yeah, your Q does proc on hit stuff, I suppose, but I think just having more AD is probably going to be more beneficial to you. So yeah, most people don't get to the point where they get more items than that. GA is very, very good, especially if you have Stopwatch. So anyone who's running, you know, Inspiration is going to want to get that GA because you're going to get the discount on it. So, I mean, I think that Infinity, Phantom, Frozen Mallet, GA is probably the standard I would recommend. But, you know, you can sneak in the Blazer and King or the Bloodthirster. You see that's about 50-50 where people will go Bloodthirster, Blade. Sterix is interesting. It does. That's another one that does give you health, and it does give you lifeline. But the fact that you're not combining it with Trinity Force, I don't really like Sterix on champions that don't have Trinity Force. It's just not giving you enough damage for your, not enough value for your buck there. So, Quicksilver Sash is another one, especially if you're against like a point click like a Malzahar or just something else that has very heavy CC. You can go Mercurial as your lifesteal item. But okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So that's what I think. There's a lot of itemization choices, but I do think that Phantom, Infinity, Frozen, and then Tier 2 boots is in some order there, and usually start with Phantom is the way that you want to go. Okay, then of course max your Q, your E, and then your W. Alright, let's go ahead and get in here. Take 2. Let's comment on the correct champion here. Okay, what'd you start with? Dorn's. Okay. Against Rise. Yeah, that's probably good. I mean, in theory, you could start Doran's Shield also, but I don't think he's going to lay down enough harass early. Okay, and the Ignite. I like Ignite here. I think you can probably kill him. I don't know what's up with the music here, but... Where's the music down? Maybe it glitched out because the game completed. It was making the music sound earlier. Okay, I'm gonna... This is kind of freaking me out a little bit. I want the music in there. So let me just exit out of this really quick, and then I'm just going to reload it, and we'll fast forward back to the point. Which one was it? I think it was this one. This is the wrong game. It's the one right above. Okay, it's the wrong game, of course. So, after this loads in like 5 seconds, then we'll just switch over to the other one. This was the GP video that I did a second ago. Sorry about that. I've never had the sound glitch out like that before. I think it's because I watched it all the way to its conclusion. I think it's because I watched it all the way to its conclusion and then tried to rewind it, and then it just like goofed up. Sometimes these raffle files get a little squirrely. Okay, here we go. Okay, well I can see your runes now too. Alright, so you did take the Fleet Footwork plus Resolve. Okay, I like that. I mean, you're against a ranged champion who's probably going to harass you early. So you've got the kill threat from the Ignite, but you have some defensive runes, so I like that. Like I said, I think Stopwatch... I think Stopwatch footwear can be good, but it is greedy in this lane because you are against a Rise, and Rise does have kill threat with his W if Rengar ganks, so... I like it. I think that's the safer rune page. Fleet Footwork is really nice because you're going to crit all the time, so you get some really nice heals off of it. It's obviously the healing crits now off of Fleet as of a few patches ago. Alright. Rengar is probably heading up to Wolves right now. So he's probably going to be on the top side of the map. Your Graves on the bot side, so if you need to lean on a side, yeah, you want to lean on this side. Because if he comes jumping out of a bush, it's probably over here. I'm trying to see if this is your ward, or I can't remember if that's your ward or not. I'm going to try to get a ward down. Especially if you want to push, which is... okay, I mean, Rise does have a hard time last hitting early. Under tower. So, I like the move. Yeah, he has to use a lot of mana. He's almost out of mana now. Once you get your shield up, yeah, there you go. I think you can go in for some harass, yep. That might be a little premature. Yeah, it's too hard, too hard, too hard. Yeah, it's too hard. You gotta be a little more patient with him. Now, Rengar did take some unusual pathing there. I think he did his birds or something. I don't know what he did. So he did have some unusual pathing. So yeah, I do like going for the harass there, but I think that you don't need to ignite. Just go in, just auto attack him, you know, Q him, and once he runs out, just bounce back out, and that's fine. Then he's at, you know, 20% health. And then the next time you go in, you can kill him. Be careful for Rengar. Yeah, good. Just light trades when your shield's up. Just let the second wind do its thing. Heal up a little bit off of Doran's Blade. Back up, back up, back up. Okay, he did get him. Is it the Great Escape? Almost. Well, this is more exciting than watching the random Tahm Kench bottom. I like Tahm Kench, but I really do think that Tahm Kench was like AFK or something most of this game, like talking on his phone. That was something I was trying to figure out when I was talking to Tahm Kench, or when I was commenting as though Eric was Tahm Kench. I'm like, yeah, you really need to make sure you focus up and you're not going AFK. Okay, but yeah. So I think that was a little too... I think you're going too hard early. Like, it's okay not to kill them. Like, you don't have to fight to the death every time you go in, you know? Like, just go in, get them to half, and just say, okay, it's good. It's a good trade, you know? Oh, he's probably going to die here. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, so just keep that in mind. This Ryze, I know he looks like a dangling piece of meat. He seems to me like he's not very experienced on Ryze. You know, like, you just can't abuse him. But you got to remember always that mid lane is not a 1v1. It's either a 2v2 or a 2v1, right? Like, the junglers are always, always important. There's very rarely going to be a game where you get to go off and just beat the crap out of mid lane without the jungler showing up to say something about it. That was good, though. See, that's when you can go all in. When he's at 20%, and you know he doesn't have flash because you just saw him use it, that's a good time to go all in. And I know it's tempting when you play something like Yasuo, because you just have so much power, and if it was a 1v1, you know, you could definitely crush him. He's such a great 1v1 champion in lane. And he just has such mobility, you just always kind of think you can finesse your way out of it. Like, I understand the allure, but that's probably the greatest strength and the greatest weakness of Yasuo, is that you can get tempted to make bad plays because you try to overplay it. You try to do more than you probably should. And I know there are lots of highlight reels out there with, you know, like challenger level Yasuo players that do crazy stuff. And that is really fun. And I do like watching those. But you got to know your limits. You got to keep in mind, too, that a lot of those challenger, like, highlight reels, that it doesn't show you the other, you know, 70 times out of 100 that even the challenger player fails. Some of those sequences. Okay. That's kind of rough. Alright, what are we getting? Working towards Phantom Dancer. Probably going to get a Zeal here. Yeah. Okay, so that was good. I like that kill on Ryze. I like that you rotated up and killed the Rengar. But you have to be a little more cautious early on of the jungler. Like, yeah, he did come from a weird angle. But he, you know, he could have also come from here and killed you the first time and the second time. He could have come from either bush because you have neither one of them warded. You need to ward one side of the river and you need to play to that side. Probably bot side is what I would recommend because that's where dragons are. So a lot of times that's where the enemy jungler is going to be. Okay, good. So if you had the gold for it, I probably would have gotten a control ward here and just put it in like this bush or this bush. Yeah, there you go. Just stay on this. Tom Kench is going to wander around randomly and like just ask to die. They're not going to kill him for some reason, but yeah, don't get baited by that. If he dies, he dies. Just get Dragon. Now, Rise is still really weak right now. All he has is tier, so I think you can still abuse him. He is level 7, so watch out, but... Okay, Rengar's top, so that's safe. Yeah, we'll go ahead and write that down. Okay. So I just wrote down, you know, go for small trades early. You don't have to go for kills or all-ins. Just try to get summoners, try to chunk them down to like 50%, and then just wait. And then on your next trade, you can go in. And go for the kill. But yeah, don't try to 100 to 0 them, you know, early levels through all of their summoners. And keep track of his summoners too. He switched over to barrier from teleport, so just keep that in mind. When you're against one of these summoner spellbook people, you gotta watch that. Alright, what you got? Phantom? Okay, good. Alright, now I assume you're working towards Infinity Edge. This would be one where you definitely... I don't know. Like, I feel like you need Mercury Treads against Rise W, but at the same time, you need armor against... You're gonna need armor against that Rengar. Yeah, there he is. Just back up. It's fine. So you know he's camping you because you're the only person on your team really doing well, so... Rengar's probably topside, so you're probably good to go on this. But just be careful, Rengar could come flying out. I can't wait till they fix that crap. It's so infuriating. Next patch, they're making it where Rise can't Zhonya's. Like, if he uses Zhonya's when he's ulting, then it cancels his ult. Okay, good. You're winning in CS. Check his items. He doesn't have any armor yet. He does. His barrier's down. He used it in that last exchange there. So that means you have about 2 minutes to kill him before he gets barrier back. Yeah, good rotation. I like this. You can probably kill him. Careful for Rengar. Tom Kench is kind of close. I don't know. Rise is missing too. I think you got to abort. Rise is missing too. Xayah with her smite got it. Xayah does have smite, by the way. I pointed that out in the last session. Yeah, good. Don't take that. Watch out for Rengar. You still don't have ward coverage. Like, you need a control ward. Either, like, here or here, somewhere in this area. Alright, he's right there. Ping that and tell them Rengar's there. Like, anytime you know where Rengar is, or wherever somebody is, ping his portrait a couple of times on tab, and then question mark the area where he is. Just to alert your team. You want to always share as much information as you can with your team. They may not always, like, do relevant things with that information, but it's good to get into the habit of doing that. Because then as you rank up, you'll already be ready to take it to the next level with your communication. Because you'll already be on that level. Okay. I think you guys want to try to not fight, like... Yeah... If you get, like, an opportunity to pick somebody off, okay, but in general, you just kind of play in the waiting game to see if Varus comes back. No, don't. You don't have vision. No. Okay, you can hurt her. Don't all in her. Okay, now once he spits her out, then you... yeah, there's just too many people here. Too much crowd control. Yeah, y'all needed to not fight there because you didn't have vision of this bush. Also, it is a 4v5, so you never want to fight if they're all there. In general, you just want to try to stall towers. Yasuo doesn't have the greatest wave clear under duress. Like, he does if it's open lane, but, like, at a tower, it's a bit harder because of his range. That's a bit ambitious. It's a bit ambitious. I know you want to force something because they are, you know, they're really low and that's your chance, you know. You don't have a lot of chances in 5v4. So I get that, but I would definitely wait on your Ignite until you actually land the R on him. If you land it. Okay, good duel, good duel. I mean, that is really good news that you can duel the 8-kill Rengar, so that does bode well for your team. It's too much CC. Yeah, I don't... You can't go in alone near Rise. Unless it's just Rise. Because he's going to... he's just going to root you with this W. Alright, so you can duel Rengar. That should be Infinity Edge, right? Oh, no, I guess not. So a couple of options here. You could either go Mercury Treads, or you could go Ninja Tabi, Quicksilver Sash. I might go Ninja Quicksilver here so you can get rid of the Rise W and still have enough, like, armor to duel. Yeah, it'd be nice if TF was there. You need to try to tell TF to come back and help you guys. Good win wall. Yeah, I mean, if TF can just gold card somebody, you should be able to clean them up. Nice. That's funny. Yeah, they don't really... I mean, I guess Poppy's a tank, but the people who matter, like, don't have any tank items, so... I think you should definitely go a defensive item after you finish your Infinity Edge. Defensive boots and defensive item. So my recommendation is probably Ninja Tabi Quicksilver Sash. So you can QSS the Rise W. But you could also go Mercs into like Frozen Mallet. That would give you some resilience to the Rise W, magic resist, and some survivability with Frozen. I mean, maybe that's better, because that will give you, the extra HP will give you some more play against, it'll let you run people down, and it'll still give you some good play against Rengar and against Rise. So, now that I'm talking about it, I do think that maybe Mercs into Frozen Mallet might be better. The QSS is really nice, but it doesn't give you anything offensive, really. GA is another option, but... I think if you die, you're just going to die again, probably, at this point with GA. Yeah, whenever you hear that roar, you need to start rotating back towards your team so that TF can help you out with some gold cards. You really need to play around TF because he has the crowd control on your team, and if he can just crowd control people, then you can go in and clean them up. So you need to try to get TF to follow you around and just be your like walking stun. So if he could just stun either the Rise or the Rengar, I think you can kill everyone else at this point, honestly. I mean, if we look at Zaya's, her itemization is okay right now, but... Poppy's never going to kill you. She doesn't have enough damage. I don't think. Alright, play this way, play this way. Stay near TF. Graves is alright, you know, but really the TF needs to be your buddy. That gold card. There it is, there it is. Perfect, boom, got him. That's what needs to happen. That's what I'm talking about. That gold card set up into a perfect knockup. I like how you held your ult there. That's pretty bold. I probably would have tornadoed and just immediately ulted. Make sure I got that kill. Okay, watch out. Get near TF. Rengar's gonna jump on you. Stay near TF in case Rengar jumps on TF. There he is. Ninja Tabi. Okay. Well, if you want Ninja Tabi, I think... Which does make sense because Rengar's their biggest threat. I think you need something against Rise's W, though. I mean, maybe Frozen Mallet's enough, but... I mean, maybe, like, lifesteal would be enough here. I don't know. What were your... Okay. I don't know what your secondary was. If you have lifesteal off of your... I want to say Alacrity. Off of your Precision runes... then you might be good to go here. I don't know, though. It doesn't seem like you have the lifesteal. It looks like you maybe went the attack speed. I mean, there's a lot of things that you need here, obviously. But... okay, you're opting for the lifesteal. If you want to do this, definitely BT instead of Blader and King, I think. Because BT does at least give you that shield. Quicksilver Sash would also not be awful here, as you could get Mercurial Scimitar. Because the way that you die, I think, is crowd control. Like, you're not going to die in a normal fight. Like, where Rengar just runs at you like that at this point. You're too big. So the way that you die is Rise, I think, locks you up, and then Rengar comes in and kills you. Rise himself is starting to do quite a bit of damage, too, and you have no magic resist, so... your wind wall does negate a lot of him, but... okay, go on the BT route. Okay. That's legit. I respect that. Over the big damage. Nice. I just realized Poppy's probably so frustrating. Like, because you can't jump around with her. She's never here. Like, I feel like Poppy's not even in this game, honestly. Like, I don't remember seeing her at a lot of fights. She was at that one, like, really late. Pwned. Yeah, get him. Get him, big dog. Rengar's pinging himself. Like, dude, you just fought a 1v1 against this Yasuo. It's got 14 kills. Why are you pinging? Maybe he's pinging because he's like, the champion's so overpowered. It is. Yasuo is such an interesting case because so many people... there are a lot of really bad Yasuos out there, but then... you know, if there's a really good Yasuo, then all of a sudden he's super overpowered. So, I mean, he's got to be one of the only champions that has like a 45% win rate or something that consistently gets banned. Because there's just such a huge difference between, like, a really bad Yasuo player and a decent one. Okay, good. You got Varus back. You need to get out of there. Get out, get out, get out. They're going to collapse on you. If they kill you, they're going to get Baron, probably. Just run. Like, yes, you can beat Rengar, but you can't beat Rengar plus Rise and all these people. I mean, maybe you can. I guess we'll find out. No, not quite. You did kill Rengar, though, so they can't do Baron, but... like, you need to run away, not because you can't beat Rengar, you can. It's because you can't beat Rengar plus Rise yet, because Rise's crowd controls too much. Yeah, back up, back up. There's some weird stuff going on back here. Okay. I guess that's fine. I would probably rotate back to help them out. Yeah, get this tower and then... Yeah, go up to Baron, go up to Baron. It's fine. I think y'all can get it. You need to put control wards down. Like, you don't have any control wards on the map. You always need to have one down. I know you feel like you really need to buy and, you know, advance your build, and that's true. But you really need vision so that you can make good decisions. Like, you don't have to buy, you know, like, a support level of control wards, but it's really important that you keep some wards down. There's Rengar. Yeah, go fight him. Going for Varus. Blast plant over the wall to go protect him. That's what I would probably do. A bit early on that. You gotta wait till he W's you. Nice. Yeah, just push up middle. Just whatever they're doing over there, just let them do it. Yeah, good. Just stay on the tower. Poppy doesn't matter. Let's back it up. I'll go grab... he flashed. Yeah, I'd go grab Infernal and then go push bottom. Which by Mallet? Yeah. Probably GA last item, I think. GA or Mercurial. Gonna fight. Yeah, just run it up middle. No Rengar, 4v5. Yeah, Poppy's over there randomly. Graves. Graves got to get those golems, baby. 30 minutes. Can end the game. Got to have those golems. Varus got to go catch this wave. I think y'all can still win this, though, 3v3, so... Good, that was a good win wall. You wait till he W's you, and then you win wall the rest of his damage. Okay, Graves eventually found his way over here, so that's good. Alright, nice. Alright, so, okay, so aim for small trades early. This is the biggest thing. Like, it's okay just to knock off half of their health at level 2 and then just retreat back to the other side of the minion wave, and then just wait for an opportunity, wait till you get your shield back up, and then go back in and try to finish them off. If you try to chase them down and all in, especially taking tower shots, like, you never want to take tower shots, you know, level 2 or 3. particularly because he's going to have teleport. So even if you trade kills, like even if you pop your ignite, let's say that you get the kill on him and he trades a kill back, or like Rengar comes and gets the kill, like he has teleport, so he can just teleport back to lane, and then he's going to get an extra wave or two on you of experience. Especially if it's pushing towards him, he can freeze it just outside of his tower range, and once you don't have flash and he freezes outside, just barely outside of his tower range, then Rengar can just come up and kill you almost whenever. So if you're going to go for trades early, try to go for those small trades, just get some incremental damage on him, maybe 30-40% damage off his health, and then just retreat back and just let your second wind kick in. Use your fleet footwork to heal up your Doran's Blade. Just, he doesn't have any heal. He doesn't have any lifesteal at that point, or spell vamp. So just go for the small trades, retreat, heal up a little bit, wait till your shield's there. And once your shield's back up, then go back in and trade. Just every time your shield's up, just go in, trade a little bit with him, rotate back out. And you need to make sure that you have wards down when you do this trade. So when you're trying to go in for these trades, get some wards down on one side of the river or the other, probably bot side. Like I said, most junglers hang out bot side because that's where the dragons are, and that's just where most of the rewards are. You get multiple kills bot lane, you get dragons. There's just a lot more stuff to do early game on the bottom side of the map than the top. So I would ward the bot side and then kind of hug the bot side tower. If your jungler is not on that side of the map, you need to be careful though. So, for example, if you have bot side warded and you're hugging towards the bot side in the lane, then you need to be careful if your jungler's on the top side of the map, because you're not going to be able to get there to help them as fast. And also, if your jungler does show up on the bot side and they collapse and surround you there, and your jungler's not going to be able to help. So just watch and try to see where your jungler is and where you should position. But you definitely want vision on, one side of the river or the other, and then you want to favor that side. If you'll watch, a lot of pro players do that. They'll just be like heavily favoring one side of the lane over the other. Usually they have vision there, and a lot of times their jungler is going to be playing that side of the map. Okay, so similar to that, just assume the jungler is going to be in the area somewhere. It's always a 2v2 lane, mid lane. It's not 1v1, it's 2v2. So you just have to expect, if your jungler's not around to help, or if their jungler could be in the area, that you have to play more conservatively, especially if you don't have flash. So just keep that in mind, because you died early to kind of the tower shots and the gank, and then they got you again. It looked like you maybe could have killed the Ryze, right? Like you were going on him. It was clear that like that Ryze probably doesn't have a ton of experience on the champion. So I know it just, you smell blood in the water there and you want to kill him. But just keep in mind that if you haven't seen Rengar, if you don't have eyes on him, if he's not top lane, he's not bot lane, then he's probably somewhere around middle, and he's going to rotate and kill you. So just don't get baited by that. And just be more cautious unless your jungler is also really close by. Similar to that, okay, wait on your shield for trading. So there were a couple of times where you went in to try to get some good damage on him, but you didn't have your shield up, particularly that second time when you got all-ended by the Rengar. Now, you did trade a kill there, which is good, but you got to keep in mind that they got a kill and an assist, and then Ryze is going to continue to get experience and farm out of the lane, and you're not, especially because you don't have teleport. So that's going to cost you about a wave and a half of minions, and they get the kill and the experience. Actually, Ryze died, but Rengar, in theory, could have pushed it up and denied a lot of experience to you, and then he would have had the gold. So it's almost always a bad idea to trade kills in a 1v2. Like, it's good that you got something out of it, but it's bad if the rest of your team around the map doesn't do something, which most of the time they won't, especially that early if the jungler ganks. So you don't want to give them the assist gold, and you don't want to lose experience and gold from the minions to your tower, and you don't want your tower to take damage. So just in general, it's, hashtag not worth if you trade kills in lane early on with the jungler in 2v1s. Okay, so you need to communicate a bit more effectively with your team. So if they're doing something that's ridiculous or just a bad choice, you need to ping them back. So if they're about to try to, fight a 2v3 when you're in a different lane, ping them back. If they're about to go try to do a dragon and it's dangerous, ping them back. If you see the jungler somewhere, like there were a couple times where you saw Rengar around Raptors, just question mark it and then ping Rengar's portrait a few times. Just let them know Rengar's there. In theory, the bot lane will know they can be more aggressive if Rengar's on the top side of the map. Or top lane, if they have a chance to kill him really quickly, they would know that, they'd have about 15 to 20 seconds before Rengar can rotate up to top lane if they want to try to kill somebody and get out of there. It'll let your jungler know that, hey, I need to watch out because Rengar's going to be around my Raptors, or hey, we can go hunt him down and kill him right now. So it just relays all of this great information over to the rest of your team and allows them to make better decisions. So just get in the habit of doing that. I think you said this was a silver game. If it's silver, yeah, your teammates probably won't do a lot of information or do a lot with that information on their own, but it's good to get into the habit of it, and you can do stuff with that information. You can question mark them, let them know Rengar's there, and then just ping, assist, hey, let's kill him. Or, hey, Rengar's on the top side of the map, let's go do dragon right now. So relay the information and then make a decision and shot call a little bit more for your team. I know you're doing so much already, trying to micro Yasuo and just, crush everybody with your micro this game, but you have to also step it up with the macro. And I think that's why you're asking me to coach you, right? Because I focus on macro a lot of the time. So, overall, great individual sort of fighting. It's just kind of the map awareness and shot calling and really converting every advantage that you can to try to close out games is, something that I think all of us can work on. This is the final thing I'll mention here. Use control wards a lot more. It gives you, once again, it gives you the vision. It gives you the intel that you can distribute to your team, and that helps inform your shot calling so that you can make better decisions. And so you can help your team make better decisions. So you don't have to spend a lot. It's just 75 gold. But think about it this way. I know it sucks when you're trying to build your build to feel like it's a tax of 75 gold, but it is an opportunity for money. I mean, just think, if that one control ward spots the Rengar and you're able to catch him out and kill him, that's an extra, 300 or 400 gold, right? For just a 75 gold investment. Or if it saves you from dying, that denies 450 gold from the enemy because they're going to get a kill plus an assist, and it gives you a bunch of experience because you're not going to be dead, and so you're not going to miss lane experience. It preserves damage on your tower. It does all of these things. It can help protect Dragon. It can help protect Baron. There are so many things that Vision does. So don't think of it as a tax. Think of it as an investment that will ultimately yield more gold than you're paying for it. I promise you it will. If you consistently in your games have at least one control ward on the map at a time and just make one play off of it, right? Just one play. That. I mean, these are very simple cases. Just imagine the more complex cases where you see somebody, you see the Rakan wanting to rotate, you kill him, and then you're able to force and get a dragon. Or you kill him and his teammates try to go in to save him, and you bait, or he baits his team, and they all die. They get aced, and then you run up and get 2 towers. There's not really an upper limit to just how powerful Vision can be. It can determine entire games if you catch the right person out and start a chain of events. So even on a very basic level, you get 1 extra kill off of a control ward, that's going to be worth it. I mean, even if you pay 4 control wards, that's still worth it, because you're going to get at least 300 gold. You just spent 300 gold in control wards, so that right there pays for itself. And then you get all of the map advantage, as I said before. So you can go pressure objectives. Maybe you can go kill somebody else. Maybe you can get down even deeper vision. Maybe you can get a scuttle. Maybe you can steal some of their jungle camps. I mean, there's just all sorts of stuff you can do off of Vision. So I know it sucks. It feels like it's a tax, and obviously if it comes down to, do I complete my Phantom Dancer, or do I just, spend 75 gold on a control ward and not complete my Phantom Dancer? Obviously you want to complete a big ticket item like a Phantom Dancer. But if it comes down to, do I want 1 extra dagger, or could I get a refillable potion and a control ward? early on, you should probably get the refillable and a control word. So there's a lot of times where there's just 75 extra gold just laying around somewhere, and you could get a control word. So just try. The pros do that all the time, and that's one of the biggest things between high-low and the rest of us mortals down, struggling with the masses here, myself included, is control word usage. So you want to make sure that you're getting a lot more control words. Just think of it as an investment for the future, not as a tax on the present. Okay, and I think that's going to be it. So overall, good game. I like how you kept your head in the game too. Didn't freak out. You just tried your best to win. I was talking about this in the Tom Kinch video before about the merits of not giving up, because you just never know which games are winnable. And there will be some games that are winnable, right? You just don't know which ones they are. So you don't stay in games like 4v5 or even 3v5 a lot of that game. You don't stay in those games because you actually think you're going to win every single game. That's just irrational. Everybody knows, games like that, you're going to lose more than you're going to win, and the enemy's going to have to screw up a lot for you to win. But you will win some of them. That's the thing. It's a higher percentage chance to win than 0. It's a 0% chance to win if you surrender, right? And so if you just play the game out, even if it's just a 5% chance to win, 10% chance to win, that's still more than 0. And it does add up. Like I said in the other video, last season, by the end of the season, I had over 2,000 games because I play, maybe like 7 games a day or so, stream for about 5 hours. You're going to accumulate a lot of games. But over 2,000 games, I was just 2 games short of getting Diamond last season. I got Diamond in Season 6, and I was in Platinum promos. Didn't quite get it. But I was 2 games short. That means if I just won one more game out of 1,000, twice, 0.1%, I would have had Diamond. And that's how it is for a lot of people. A lot of people who are sitting at, Silver 1, Gold 1, or whatever, if just somewhere along the line, they just won a couple more games, they probably would have had it. And if you play out all of these games like this over the course of a season, you're going to see a lot of these games. You're going to see dozens of games that appear to be unwinnable. If you play them all out and just win a couple of them, that can be the difference between silver and gold, or gold and platinum, or, whatever your goal is. So it seems like you probably know this because you played out the game, and I'm proud of you for doing that. But just for everyone else watching, this is why you don't give up. It's not for some kind of, really, I'm trying to think of the word, schmaltzy kind of comes to mind. Like, it's not like the Hallmark card, right? It's not like, here we go, guys, we can always win, it's sunshine and rainbows. It's like, no, it's not. That's not what it's about. It's not about being naive and thinking that you're actually going to win every game. It's about thinking about a long season and the fact that you will win some, your percentage will be higher than 0, and just maximizing your win percentage over the course of hundreds or maybe even thousands of games, depending on how much you play. That's what it's about. So it's not about being happy and cheerful that it's a 4v5 or a 3v5, or legitimately like smiling and, thinking you can win every single game. It's just business. It's just understanding that you will win some, but you can't win the games that you don't play. Okay. So, anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Good game, Eric. I hope this helps you out. I think you definitely had some really, really strong late game fighting, macroing. You were making some pretty good decisions in the late game. Just clean up the early game. Just dial back the aggro a little bit, even against players where you can abuse them. Just be a little bit more cautious of that jungler. And then just communicate with your team. Just help your team make better decisions. And part of that is getting better vision and just pinging and, just overall communicating and shot calling a little bit better. But overall, I think that's great. I think you definitely, like, if this is a silver game, you definitely have the mechanics to get to gold or higher, like 100%, no doubt in my mind. It's all about just dialing back the aggression, just being a little bit more measured, and just helping your team make better decisions, just helping your team become better players. I think that's what it's all about. So individually, on a mechanical level, you're great. You're really good for a silver player, much better than a silver player mechanically. It's just all about cleaning up that decision-making a little bit. So, anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. As always, I really appreciate the donation. And anyone else that would like a coaching video, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Just a $20 donation. I'll make a video just like this for you. If you want to watch more coaching videos, check out the playlist. I think it's kind of funny to watch the Tom Kinch one if you'd like. The one that's directly before this. At least kind of skip to the end, I think is sort of amusing. And then if you want to know individual champion guides, it's just mostly all support champions in there. Then you can click on this and find some more info about that. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.